This is Bad Movies We Love, part of the Shice Podcast Network.
If you're listening to this, you are the resistance.
Hello, Bad Movie lovers, and welcome back to Bad Movies We Love. You know the drill, or maybe you don't. I am your host, Nick Scheist.
The master of this stupid stuff!
Yes, and as it turns out, a lot of new listeners have begun to check out some of the older episodes, so by the time you get here, just know that I see you, and I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you that listen to this show. And I know that I say it every week, but I would legitimately love to hear from more of you. I love going to the mailbag. I love going to the phones. I love reading the reviews that come in. And speaking of reviews, a great way to help the show is to leave a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts. Not because it's my preferred player, but at the end of the day, a review and a rating on Apple Podcasts actually make a really big difference in discoverability of the show. So if you're hearing the sound of my voice right now, listening to this show on Apple Podcasts, I would appreciate it if you took the time to leave a rating and a review. And of course, that applies to anybody listening to this anywhere. If you're hearing this and you have time and it is safe to actively do so, please just take a moment, leave a rating or a review wherever you are listening to this show. If you want to get in touch with me directly, you can do so by emailing me at badmovieswelove@theshice.com. If you want to get in touch but stay anonymous, you can do that by taking the listener survey. Not many people had filled it out, so I hadn't even checked it in a while, but I am looking back now and I see that somebody did do the survey back at the end of January. And I appreciate whoever it was that did that. And I know it's not a review, but I want to read this little snippet from it. So I ask on the survey, what do you like most about the show? And this person said, it's a fun area to cover and the analysis is very good, not just surface level, quote, can you believe how bad this is, unquote. Thank you for the kind words and for recognizing that this is not a show about punching down on bad movies. And speaking of punching, Kung Foolery continues here at Bad Movies We Love. I could go on with show details, but all that stuff's in the show notes and we got a show to get to. I was joined by Dan and Thavy from the Two Asion Blokes podcast. It's a really good one. I had a ton of fun listening back during the edit, and we're talking about James Wong's The One from 2001. This movie it feels like it is such a big concept.
Heaven forbid you have to put the pieces together yourself.
There was definitely a period of time where I liked this movie more than The Matrix.
All right, look, in fairness, I want to watch it again.
Yeah, Jet Li, new metal, that's cool.
Like the pie chart of their budget is like 80% new metal licenses, 20% wigs.
Despite the film's flaws, we're all much better off for this being Jet Li instead of The Rock.
What if this multiverse version of me was a Terramana salesman?
Yeah, that's it. That's printing money right there.
He bludgeons a couple guys to death with a motorcycle.
Jet Li just like upward slices someone's dick. And I was like, damn man, this guy's awesome.
He can be Swedish, he can be Rastafari, he can do it all, man.
That's some fucking big ass ball on a rat.
Yeah, well look, the internet is full of crap, what do you know?
Good job, Jason Statham.
Seriously, this sounds stupid and we're kidding, but also it would be fucking awesome.
So that's probably my favorite thing about this film, is how shit it is.
People have found you guilty of 123 counts of first-degree murder and 123 counts of unauthorized travel to parallel universes.
There's never been anything like what I have become.
For these crimes, you have been sentenced to life without the possibility of return. Are you ready?
Are you?
Gentlemen, I've got some special guests, sort of not exactly in studio because they're in Australia, but I'm joined by Dan and Tavy from Two Asian Blokes podcast. Welcome to the show.
G'day.
Yeah, thanks for having us on.
Good to be here.
Yeah, we love being on. Love your stuff, man.
Thank you very much for being here. This is your first time, hopefully not your last time, but since it is your first time and my audience maybe is unfamiliar with you guys, how did you two get started podcasting together? And I guess when did that journey start?
Ooh. Who tells this story better, Dan, me or you?
Well, I can take it if. Tavy and I have been mates since we were kids. We grew up together. So that means we have pretty similar taste in media, but not entirely the same. I think we decided to start a podcast once I came back to Australia to live. It was around the same time that Shang-Chi was in cinemas.
No, it was before then.
Okay.
It was after you just come back from COVID.
Yeah.
And everyone was in that lockdown limbo. And you're like, you want to start a podcast? And I was like, yeah, sure, let's do it.
Yeah.
And 4 years later, 4 years, how long have we been doing it for now?
Probably too long, to be honest.
Probably. Yeah, but that's how we got started, yeah.
I mean, my story is kind of similar. Like, I had the idea with some friends beforehand. And this was like before we were even thinking about podcasting. It was more like YouTube channel idea that we were working on, or at least sort of brainstorming. And then those guys kind of went their separate ways and they just never materialized. And then I had a website that I was running, and then COVID hit, lockdown came, and it was like, you know what? Let me finally commit to doing this. And so now I've been doing it since 2020. And this show itself is in season 4. And I technically just did the 100th episode, although it's not like the 100th movie release. It was just the 100th technical episode because there was some announcements and stuff in there. So I don't know whether to celebrate it as the 100th or not, but it did happen.
Yeah, we release things kind of on... We have a YouTube channel as well where we release video stuff, but that doesn't make it onto our podcast things. And then it's 100th episode, but it's not really. Then we kind of lost track of that. And then we're just like, yeah, we'll celebrate. We kind of just come up with our own holidays whenever we want to celebrate something.
Yeah, whenever we have a chance to celebrate.
Yeah.
I mean, I understand because I have also, besides this, I have 5 other shows that I'm working on. And one of them, I published it. And then after the fact, I saw at the bottom, one of 150. And I was like, oh, this was the 150th. I didn't even know until after I pushed publish. So once you get a little long in the tooth with podcasting, it all sort of becomes the same. But this show is the backbone of everything else that I do. So this show led me into doing some sub-series. It allows me to connect with people like you and people like my co-host for Kunked, who are on the other side of the world. And it has opened a lot of doors, and getting together and talking to people from all around the world about the bad movies that they love is my favorite thing. So that's why you guys are here today, because we're talking about The One from 2000.
One movie for us.
This is not even a bad movie. This is just a good movie. I don't know why we're talking about this movie today.
Well, I'll let you know why we're talking about this one. But this was directed by James Wong, written by James Wong and Glen Morgan, starring Jet Li, Delroy Lindo, Carla Gugino, and Jason Statham. And for the tale of the tape, IMDb has it at a 5.9, Metascore of 25, Letterboxd of 56, or a 2.8, brings it to a 56. Rotten Tomatoes critic score, 13%. And an audience
sounds bad.
And an audience score of 51%. So that gives us Bad Movies We Love total score of 40.8 out of 100. So technically it qualifies, but I love this movie so much. so much. And when it first, I didn't see it in theaters, but when it first came to cable, every time I saw that it was on the channel guide, I was like, I'm watching it again. So back in the 2000s, 2002 probably, I watched this maybe every day for
probably close to a month. It was that kind of.
It is one of
sounds
those
like
movies.
this
Isn't
sounds
it?
like the same story for Dan and I. I think my story is we rented it from the video shop, and we had a mate of ours, and he's like, "You got to watch the one. It's better than the Matrix." I'm like, "Oh, well, that can't be true." and
it wasn't true at all.
true, but there was definitely a period of time where I liked this movie more than the Matrix.
Yeah.
And then I was like, "Wow!" I would watch it from when I'd come home from school. I would literally watch this every day when I came home from school, especially the opening scene. Yeah.
I did get to see this in theaters, luckily for me. But yes, since watching it in theaters, I spammed it pretty much on DVD.
This was coming at a time too in Jet Li's career where it's like I wasn't as familiar with him because I sort of grew up as a Jackie Chan guy. So I always knew of Jet Li, but this is possibly the first movie. I don't think it was. I think probably Lethal Weapon 4 was the first one that I like actually saw him in, or maybe even Black Mask. But this was the first movie that really like made me a fan of Jet Li. Which is crazy because he's like 30 years into his career.
Yeah.
I think, what was I mean, you do have a gateway drug segment, but I think our first movie, I mean, our parents had shown us a few of the wuxia Jet Li movies.
I remember watching Shaolin Temple and
Temple.
Kids of Shaolin.
Yeah.
Probably before the one.
And Once Upon a Time in China as well.
Yeah. But this was like one of the first Hollywood movies. I think
Romeo Must Die was the first one for me.
I think Romeo Must Die was probably the first one. And then Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
which is the one with DMX?
Cradle to the Grave.
He's got a couple. I think DMX is in Romeo Must Die as well.
Yeah, he's in it a little bit.
Gotcha, okay.
R.I.P. DMX.
Yeah, R.I.P.
This was like at a weird time where I found myself like susceptible to the style, the attitude. Obviously the Matrix inspired this a lot in that it uses like the bullet time and the slow-mo and everybody's wearing a lot of black and leather.
A lot of early 2000s movies.
Oh yeah, everything was copying the Matrix.
Yeah.
So
even Kung Pao.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna cover that one too a little bit.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's another one that's gonna be done during our Kung Foolery month here in April. But you know, when I had talked to you guys about what you wanted to bring to the show, there wasn't like too much back and forth. You were pretty like right in there with, hey, this is the one that we're gonna do. So, like, what made you pick this film?
Movie.
I think this movie is one of those ones that we watched heaps, but we rarely have the opportunity to talk about with other people because it I don't know, for some reason it's kind of niche to our small friendship group, I guess.
Well, for me, it has there's two movies within the early 2000s realm that have the perfect soundtrack, which is this movie and Freddy vs. Jason, because there's this amalgamation of nu metal and that rock era, and I'm really into that music.
I think you're forgetting Ghosts of Mars, but yes.
I haven't seen Ghosts of Mars yet, so I haven't seen maybe that one. But I think the first time it was when, in the opening scene, when Drowning Pool is playing, and then I was just like, yeah, I'm sold. I love the music in this movie, and I'm not sure if that was a studio choice to pick to be in the one, but it was definitely something that really struck a chord with me, and I'm like, yeah, we got to talk about the one. Yeah.
I mean, I'm happy because it's one of the movies that I always have wanted to talk about on this show, but I try not to force my choices onto the guests because this show is about talking to new people and about the things that they love, and it's not just a show for movies that I love and that I want to make other people watch. Mm-hmm. If people want to come back on the show and they need some guidance, then of course I have a huge wish list of stuff where I'm like, oh yeah, we're going to pull from that. And you mentioned Ghosts of Mars, which I am recording on Monday.
Right,
Ooh,
yeah.
nice.
I was wondering if that would come up with your Mars March
It
month.
is. Exactly. Ghost of Mars is going to be...
Another Statham appearance, I suppose.
Oh, we're going to be talking about Statham this episode.
The multiverse is aligning for Ghost of Mars and Jason Statham to show up on the show in conversation very shortly. It's actually going to be the next episode I record after this one, so I'll make sure to bring it up and shout you guys out again. But
cheers.
yeah, I'm going to take a moment here to just set the table for the audience that maybe has no idea what the One actually is or why we're talking about it. So the One explores multiverses and interdimensional travel, and it follows Gabriel Yulaw, played by Jet Li, and he's a rogue agent who hunts and kills alternative versions of himself to become a super being that he is dubbed as the One, therefore the title of the film. Lee portrays both Yulaw and Gabe Law, who is a LA Sheriff's Department deputy who joins forces with multiverse agent, this case Jason Statham, to stop Yulaw from achieving his goal. And the One earned $43.9 million in the U.S. and Canada and $28.7 million internationally for a box office total of $72.7 worldwide. Its April release in the UK in 2004 added 1.3 million, bringing that global total to 74 million. And by April 2023, the international earnings had reached 35.7 million, pushing the worldwide gross to 79.6 million. So really not too bad for a movie of this era and this ilk that is meant to just really be sort of an entertaining action film. Budget was 49 million, so made its money back. I want to save what I'm about to say because I want to talk to you guys about that a little bit later. But in terms of maybe expectations for this film, is this a movie that could succeed today the way that it was made, or is this something that like ends up straight to Amazon Prime or something?
Oh, probably a Prime movie.
Well,
if you're judging it based on its CGI now within the film, it will probably be a Prime. I mean, Dan and I just started watching Electric State on Netflix, and that is a multi-million-dollar film with not bad CGI, and that is a straight to streaming movie. So I'd imagine this one would probably, this as a story in its current form, I think it would be a Prime story.
I mean, the thing that struck me watching some of the behind the scenes is that there is actually a lot of craft in this film compared to perhaps more modern movies. But if we scale it to like modern day standards, maybe there's a bit too much craft in it, in that you probably don't have to put as much effort as they did for this kind of movie. Like if you're making a Statham movie today, you're not doing as much work as they did for this movie, and you'd probably get better results, box office speaking.
Yeah, how did The Beekeeper do? I know he's got another one coming out that's basically the same thing. It's just not bees this time. And I think they're going to make a sequel next year as well.
He's always, Dan and I were chatting about this last night, and Statham is always, he's always ex-military something. Ex-commando, ex-special forces, specialist something. Like
it's honestly one of our favorite modern action genres is Jason Statham playing a guy that has a blue-collar job, but he's ex-special forces.
Look, he
That's
knows.
a genre in itself.
He knows his niche, and he makes sure he sticks to it. And he's made like an entire career out of this. What's so weird to me with Statham is that he's probably the reason that I watched this movie, because I was already familiar with like Lock, Stock at that point. So I had seen him sort of in his comedic range. And so he was probably the most familiar face for me besides Delroy Lindo at the time and Carla Gugino. But I was like, okay, this is a Statham action movie. You know, I think Transporter is around this time as well. So I feel like his career trajectory from this sort of he just went right into that lane and just became a pretty pretty convincing action star for the most part. Whether it's the mechanic or the transporter or Cranked, I mean, they're all sort of like versions of the same movie over and over again, but he's charismatic. And then every now and then we see flashes of stuff where he did the recent Guy Ritchie one that he's the boss.
There's a Wrath of Man?
Wrath of Man. Thank you.
I've yet to see Wrath of Man, but I've heard that it's good.
It is good.
Yeah.
And you get to see him actually like be a little bit more serious. It's like all the other films still, in that like he's gonna beat a bunch of people up for the most part. But he gets to actually like act a little bit in it. And then he did the other Operation Fortune with Guy Ritchie as well, where it's like he's back sort of doing the comedic thing a little bit more
playful.
Yeah. So Statham is the guy that sort of like brought me in, but what it ultimately did was like open me up to a world of Jet Li stuff. And then I really was like, oh wow, I've just been like missing out on like an entire, career's worth of great stuff from Jet Li. So I guess for you guys, like, what was your like entry point to this? Were you guys big Jet Li fans like heading in?
I mean, I was a big fan of Jet Li, but probably more so of The Matrix. It came right in that pocket of cinema where it was like, this movie is like The Matrix.
Yeah.
So I think it was the combination of that promise plus Jet Li that made me really keen on watching this.
No, I think one of the first Jet Li movies that we watched, it was a Wuxia one. I don't remember which one, but I remember distinctively. I'm not sure if Jet Li does it, but he like slices someone up, like slices uppercut with a sword and like cuts through the guy's dick or something.
Oh yeah, that's Shaolin. Kids of Shaolin.
Yeah, Kids of Shaolin. Yeah. And it's not a particularly violent movie, but then like, Jet Li just like upward slices someone's dick. And I was like, damn man, this guy's awesome. And then Jet Li was it for me. And then Romeo Must Die came out. Then we watched Kiss of the Dragon.
I love Kiss of the Dragon.
And it's talking about Jackie Chan and Jet Li, they've got both very distinctive styles. Jet Li was always the more quite serious, like more violent action cinema, I suppose. Yeah, compared to Jackie Chan.
Yeah, his movies weren't fucking around. They were. Oh, sorry, am I allowed to swear on this podcast?
Oh yeah, don't worry about
fantastic. It. Yeah, he was definitely the more serious killer.
Yeah.
Well, the way that like you and I connected was through talking about Jackie Chan. You had posted something, a scene from Wheels on Meals, and just mentioned it as like one of his maybe better sleeper fight scenes. And so I was like, I'm just looking at the costuming and like the attitude of the scene, and I was like, okay, I've got to watch this. So I ended up watching it. We talked a little bit about it. I was hosting Jackie Chanuary for our film club, so everybody was submitting Jackie Chan picks, and a lot of it was more of his American popular stuff. But one of the movies that
Tuxedo.
Not that one. I mean, look, the Tuxedo is actually a good idea, but like maybe just in the wrong hands. It's like, I don't know. I still like that movie. I like that. I like the medallion. I like the nice guy. Anything Jackie Chan's medallion. In, I'm gonna watch it. Right?
Forgot about that movie.
Fair enough. But one of the movies that was submitted was The Forbidden Kingdom, and as happy as I was to finally see Jet Li and Jackie Chan in the same movie, I'm like, this is the movie that we got out of them, though.
Yeah, it's a shame that it's in that movie.
It's in that, because it's a really good fight scene, Jackie Chan versus Jet Li. Yeah. But then the rest of the movie, it's like, okay, let's follow Michael Angarano or something, and it's just
follow
like
not Shia LaBeouf.
Yeah, not Shia LaBeouf.
Well, he also, Jackie later went on to do a movie like a year or two ago. I think it was like Iron Mask with Arnold Schwarzenegger, and that one, you think Forbidden Kingdom is like bad or mediocre, check out that one, because I'm like, look, it's got Arnold, it has Jackie Chan, there's no way I'm not watching this movie, I don't care how bad it is. And it was kind of one of those movies where I watched it and it just was in one ear and out the other. Don't remember anything about it other than Arnold's costume and a weird scene in like a tower, but other than that, like kind of completely forgettable, which is sad for two actors of like their respective caliber and their like lengthy careers.
I remember watching the trailer for that, and I think watching the trailer, there weren't there didn't seem to be any scenes with the two of them together in the same space. So I'm like, okay, this probably they probably both filmed these in their separate mansions. I think I can give this one a miss.
Yeah, it's not like, I guess when Schwarzenegger and Stallone got together for the Prison Break movie, I forgot what it's called exactly, but...
Oh, yeah. I don't remember either, yeah.
Like, that one actually takes into account that these guys are older, and that this is not an action movie in, like, the ilk of movies they've done in the past. And it just recognizes that the audience is here to see, like, these two guys for, like, their history. And so it gives them a chance to act and actually... So I think that movie works in a way that some of this other, like, last minute, let's throw these guys together finally and give the audience what they want. Like, those moments don't always land, but I feel like that one was a good one. But let's get back on track into the one. Because we could talk about all of these movies, like, forever.
Pull us back each time. We'll go on tangents.
We have a mission here. We got to leave the multiverse behind. But I know I had approached you guys a little bit, and I gave you the outline. So I was curious, did you get a chance, or did you take the initiative to do the synopsis haiku for this movie?
Yes, we put our heads together to come up with a synopsis haiku.
We hope it's good enough. Put our heads together for like a 5-minute chat last night while just chilling out with a few drinks.
Perfect. Yeah, that's exactly the way that you're supposed to do it. All right. Well, since you were the guest, I'll let you do the honors. I have one myself, so I won't leave you out there on a wire.
All right. Here's ours. Jet Li v. Jet Li. Only one can be the one. Beekeeper's there too.
Yeah, I like that. It's very straightforward and to the point, and mine is kind of like in that same vein. I came up with, in the multiverse, Yulaw may be no one's bitch, but he's not the one.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's a good one. You put a lot more thought into it than we did. My criteria was make sure you mention Beekeeper, and that was my input.
The Beekeeper is in fact there, and he survives, and maybe in one of these other universes, that's who Jason Statham's character actually is. This movie it feels like it is such a big concept, and multiversal type of stories were not really invested in at the time, I think for good reason. Like, at best, you're looking at maybe 2 timelines, 2 universes, fantasy world, real world, like all that stuff had been handled. But the idea of going
sliding doors with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Yeah, and the idea of like trying to take on 123 different universes and even give it any kind of realistic texture was a really big challenge. And the movie, it grapples with the fact that it's made in 2001, but it's trying to be a movie that talks about the future, yet it is very much of the time that it's made, all the way down to like the United States presidential election, and that being like gotcha moments in the film with something like George Bush Jr. introducing universal health care in the United States, which I found to be one of the more comical things that takes place in this film. But, you know, we start with like, oh, Al Gore is the president in this other universe. And like, isn't that so 2000s? Like, we just want to start you off and let you know that this is not the universe that you are accustomed to. So there's a lot of little stuff like that I think is maybe like easy footholds to kind of give the audience some low-hanging fruit, but maybe like the most compelling part of a story like this is really what's going on with Yulaw, because there's this whole backstory that they kind of don't really touch on about how he was Delroy Lindo's partner and he killed another version of himself in another universe, and then he became obsessed with killing all the rest of his other selves. And I'm like, that's the story. Like, if you're really like making a movie, like that's the thread to follow. But instead, it's like, no, we want happy ending. We want Gabe, nice guy, and all that. And maybe you're making Jet Li the hero here, so you don't really want to focus on the villainous version of him. But I'm curious, like from your perspective, like we all enter this conversation really enjoying this movie. So for everybody else, like, why do you think someone would say that this is in fact a bad movie?
I guess watching it today, because I don't think I had watched this movie for more than a decade. And at that point, I was like, oh, I really fucking love this movie. I still love this movie. But then when I did rewatch it, I was like, oh, yeah, maybe there's not as much action that I thought I remembered. And the special effects, it's that weird time where special effects, they put a lot of effort into it, but it was just very PS2. And
Good way to put it.
I think you're absolutely right in terms of the story. I didn't really pick that up when I was younger because I'm like, yeah, Jet Li, new metal, that's cool.
Yeah, exactly.
Jet Li fight Jet Li at the end. But thinking about it now, I'm way more invested in the Yulaw story. Like, how did he become the bad guy? You know, what's his Michael Corleone arc? You know, like, how did he become that? It's like, oh, that's quite interesting.
I mean,
but it's like,
I feel like if
he's just evil.
If this movie did well enough, we might have gotten a Yulaw origin story, because that was also the time period for origin stories as well. But I think it is such a movie that is of its time. Like the music, the costuming, the tone of the film,
the digital look. Because I'm not sure if this was shot on film or not, but you can tell when they were using, I think, digital media more so. It's got that look that it can't really be remastered. It's that sort of, I can't describe the color grading or the look.
Yeah,
it just has a certain cheapness to it, I think.
Even just that kind of edgy post-Matrix tone of it. It's very, like, Underworld kind of has the same vibe as well. So
it does.
I think, and there are obviously fans of that franchise, I think, but it is, you either love it or hate it, I think. And we're watching this movie through nostalgia goggles. I think revisiting it, it's kind of this weird, like, there's not enough action for a Jet Li movie, but the effects aren't good enough for like a sci-fi movie, I guess.
Yeah, you raise a lot of interesting points there, because you do feel that the movie is like, it's like almost you can feel that in order to get the movie greenlit, that they had to promise the studio, we're going to Matrix it up. Like, we're going slow-mo, we're going leather, we're going sort of like faceless destruction, bullet time. We're going to do all the cool stuff that the kids like in order to make sure that this movie succeeds. But from like a form and function standpoint, you're putting an incredibly large burden of special effects onto an action star who has built his entire career on like not doing that. So you're kind of handcuffing the biggest star in the film and the most well-rounded, the most adaptable action star at the time that you have on screen, and like just limiting him to, okay, well, we're going to have you kick, but then this is going into a slow-mo thing. And so when you see the final product, it's going to look cool. But like, what is he doing in the filming? He throws a kick and then like walks over to the other place and stands and then like poses, and they, blend that all together. So for a guy like Jet Li, who is such a refined screen martial artist, to then not give us enough of that. And then even in the final showdown where you have him fighting himself, and it's like, okay, this is kind of like what the audience is here for, right? You promised us two Jet Lis, we get the showdown, but because there's two of them, you have to shoot the scene twice, maybe 3 or 4 times even, because you're using a stunt double. So you don't really get the kind of action that we saw in the scene that was in like a Wheels on Meals that you guys shared with me, where you're not hiding anything in that. You're just letting your stars go to town and showcase their skills. So it does struggle with, I think, just sort of having a little bit of an identity crisis, which is weird for a movie that's kind of about a multiverse of personalities.
He is so limited, and not just him, but also Corey Yuen, the fight choreographer, because of the fact that he has to be fighting himself, but the technology for face replacement isn't to the point where they can, do it seamlessly. They have to mask a lot of it with editing, and they can't film anything like wide as well, and that really takes away from any kind of intricate fight choreography you can put together.
And I think they also had to redesign the movie around Jet Li because it was The Rock who was the initial one. And you can kind of catch glimpses of it in terms of the dialogue that is given, especially from Yulaw. It's very badass. And you can kind of picture The Rock.
Are you saying Jet Li is not a badass?
I'm not saying he's bad, but he's got a certain accent. He doesn't have that gravelly rock sounding voice. But
good point.
Then I guess they weren't able to fully use the martial arts because watching the behind the scenes, they do utilize his ability, especially with the intro scene that they use like tennis balls and then they replaced it with the cops flying, but then Jet Li remembered where all the motions needed to be. That is, they were really lucky to have someone as capable
The Rock
as
couldn't
Jet Li.
do that.
The Rock couldn't do that. He'd just be selling Terramana. He'd just be like, hey, you want some Terramana? And it's just like, okay, The Rock, let's do that again. Can you stop shilling your products, please? It's like, oh, sorry. And then he's eating, what's that?
Like,
what's that burger?
What if this multiverse version of me was a Terramana salesman? What about then?
I mean, I think despite the film's flaws, we're all much better off for this being Jet Li instead of The Rock, especially at this time in The Rock's career, because he was not anywhere near being a polished enough actor to take on a role like this. I think he was about to do like Scorpion King, or he was about to have his cameo as Scorpion King in The Mummy Returns, which is why he didn't take this project. So
yeah, I think so. Yeah,
you know, he's going from like cameo
also a
level.
movie with
he can't
really
be a
good
lead.
CGI in it.
Look, it's of its time, so to be fair. But speaking
It's
of
memorable.
speaking of its time, let's take a look at the trailer for this movie, because I don't know if I ever saw a trailer or if I just like pushed play on it randomly one time when it was on cable. So I want to make sure that we give it justice here.
All right, hang on.
I'm
We'll just get down to...
I'm just going to spin my monitor around so that Tavi can see.
Yeah. Okay.
This trailer rewind is brought to you by the new release from New Metal Studios. Across the universe, only the strong survive, and sometimes other versions of you may be trying to kill you. However, one man is fighting back by not fighting at all. This is the Ballad of Sven Law. Before Sven Law was one of Yulaw's final victims, he didn't want power. He wasn't seeking revenge. He just wanted to vibe. Now, see the previously untold epic journey of literal and figurative self-discovery as Sven backpacked across dimensions to meet alternate versions of himself and learn their ways, their failures, and their strengths, in one last attempt to stop Yulaw with the power of love and community. So join Sven on his odyssey across the Monoceros universe, Canopus universe, Serpens universe, Procyon universe, Shaola universe, and you can meet familiar faces like Yu Fook Law, Ni Day Law, Kia Ji Law, Seth Law, Froon Law, and more. Because when there's a power-hungry alternate reality version of you who wants to become the one, it's good to have strength in numbers. Coming this fall to theaters near you, it's the Ballad of Sven Law. And now, back to the show.
Oops.
That's not too loud.
All right. I can see it.
The people have found you guilty of 123 counts of first-degree murder and 123 counts of unauthorized travel to parallel universes.
Yeah. Also, the font that they chose for like the future font is like so
Illegible.
overly complicated.
Sentenced to life without the possibility of
Imagine going to
return.
the office with that in your face every day.
Oh my god.
I love Carla Gugino.
Yeah.
She's great. Like she's too good to be relegated to like the.
I think so.
There's only one place he could be going.
Not a problem.
What if there was a killer?
Oh, this is so 2000s, man.
Just like you.
The good news is you're not crazy. The bad news. Before I saw him, I felt him. It was me.
What if he would stop at nothing to take over your world?
I do love when he kicks Delroy Lindo through his leather jacket.
Divides among the survivors.
He's close to you, Lost.
They're very banking on the final fight scene to put into the trailer.
And of course, they're like, you know what? Every good fight scene should take place at a random warehouse.
With machinery. Yeah.
We need steam and fire.
Ahead of its time.
Oh yeah, I think that was the scene.
My own design.
This opening sequence was like, yeah, I love this movie when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you wrote Final Destination. Oh, this is so Matrix. This movie, the soundtrack. It's very club to death.
Miss me?
Yeah, some of those effects really did not age well, but
yeah,
what you gonna do?
From the director of Dragon Ball Evolution, man.
The one.
All right, look. In fairness, I want to watch it again. So I guess it worked. And I mean, I know, sort of being young and having not enough foundation, I guess, would make it very easy for me to be wowed by sort of like the slow-mo aspect of it. And I feel like watching it now on like a much higher definition television and just like technology has improved. So when I see what it looks like now, I think it's maybe unfair to really put the burden of it looking that bad on like the first watch, because I always felt like the slow-mo, especially in that opening scene, was good. It was done well enough to where I was like, I am so on board with the rest of this movie. I don't care what happens. Yeah. Show me more of this.
Yeah. I think you're right. I think at the time it would have been fine for us. I mean, obviously looking back now, it hasn't aged that well. But I think even now that first scene is still okay. It's possible.
No, it's a soundtrack that still sells me. And watching the trailer where they first no, it's the bit where Carla Gugino's Multiverse character breaks Yulaw free.
Oh, with the rat with the big balls.
Yeah. So
huge
we used to have this
on that rat.
we used to we still have this in joke because they play down with the sickness when it blows up.
Yep.
So the line from the guy, he says to Yulaw, he's like, "Are you ready?" And then Yulaw says, "Are you?" And it goes, "Oh, wow." And then quite often, and probably still to this day, whenever one of us will ask any one of our friendship group who's seen this movie, we're like, "Oh, are you ready?" And then they go, and then we go, "Oh, wow." And it's just like, yep, I love it. Like, yep, more disturbed, more down with the sickness. So I'm like, yep, this is, it really is the soundtrack that brings me back to this movie, which is probably one of the more corporate decisions of this movie, because it's like, we want a Matrix soundtrack, and that's what's trendy at the time. Yeah. But yeah, it's just cool. Need more movies with new metal soundtracks, in my opinion, these days.
It is cool, in fairness, and I think like the cool factor goes a long way with this. Like, the music supervision is good, regardless of like whether or not you like the music. Like, the way that it's cued in, the way that it lines up with what's happening in the film, like, it's all handled really well. So
they play Blood Brothers when the two Jet Lis are fighting. That just makes perfect sense.
I think my 12-year-old brain exploded when they played that song. I was like, I'm fairly certain. Well, I can't be fairly certain, but I'm probably 50% certain when I first watched this movie, I immediately rewatched it again within the same day.
No doubt.
Just like rewind the VHS. Yeah, let's watch it again. That was the power of this movie back in the day for me, I think.
Sounds about right. I think the music supervisor is probably like the one person who was like really dialed in on their job on this. He's like, no, don't worry. This is going to be the rising tide that lifts all ships here. But when we're first like meeting Yulaw and they're going through all of the other like universes and we're seeing the other Jet Lis, I was like, okay, the design choices for these guys is fantastic, but this movie isn't a comedy.
Second to none.
Like it kind of
Sven Law. I forgot about Sven Law.
It kind of knows that like it almost could be really funny had it gone that direction, but it only gives us like a glimpse of that, and then all the Jet Lis that he has killed are hilarious. So I'm like,
I like to think they spent a full day with Jet Li just changing costumes.
Oh, they did. There's a behind the scenes feature where it's just him making like cheesy grins, and they're just dressing him up in different things.
Love it.
And that's all the different Jet Lis, Rastafarian Jet Li and Greaser Jet Li. Yeah.
But it makes me think also of like a show like Rick and Morty, where Rick has like the Council of Ricks, and like there's a lot of interdimensional hopping, and sort of all the Ricks kind of fight each other for superiority. And I'm like, okay, you know, I could see definitely this beginning to form some bigger ideas about multiversal characters.
It is ahead of its time. Yeah.
Yeah, stuff that like this movie maybe didn't have the vocabulary to really get into, you know, but it wanted to set the ideas in place. And I think that's kind of, it's the thing that I like about a lot of movies that we talk about on this show, is that they're movies that are ultimately flawed, but they have big ideas, and they take big swings with those ideas, and whether or not they work out, they sort of leave me with this idea that like the movies that make it here are movies that really have like a lot of potential, and just maybe focus their energy in the wrong areas. Because like we talked about, like Delroy Lindo's a great actor. He's probably the best actor in the film, and he's very important in getting the story to where it needs to go. But the fact that they hand off the movie to Jason Statham is weird, because Delroy Lindo's character is the one who has the relationship with Yulaw. So I get that, like, you have the fight scene, you have that moment that happens, but like mathematically, you want like the most conflict resolution should come from like the catharsis that is like, this is my ex-partner. We're going to see this story all the way through to the end. Like, let Statham be the guy who dies with the grenade and get his ass whooped.
Yeah, you're right. There's not as much emotional impact as
maybe he already had that contract back then where he couldn't get killed or something on the screen. So
the Fast and the Furious special contract. I think it's probably because Statham was the rising star at the time.
Yeah.
So they want to give more screen time to him.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Delroy Lindo is great, and he has worked with Jet Li before that in Romeo Must Die.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I forgot that was in that movie, yeah.
He adds a lot of gravitas to it, I think.
Okay, yeah.
That's probably part of the reason they chose to sacrifice him as well, because, it would probably give more of an emotional impact to the audience than killing off Statham, who is the young whippersnapper. You know, like, if you're talking about character archetypes, it makes sense. But I can totally see what you're saying. Like, the relationship between him and Yulaw should have played a bigger factor in the movie.
Yeah, it's really apparent sitting here discussing it that they actually do have a pretty interesting story to tell, but it's just like, no, he's dead now, and like, yeah, I guess he's just evil, and that's cool.
Saving it for Yulaw Origins.
Yulaw Origins. I mean, if I watched an MCU movie and there was a post-credit scene where Jet Li's Yulaw comes back, like, I'm there. I'm gonna watch that.
It comes out of one of those circular portals.
Yeah, no,
it's like, I am nobody, bitch.
Yeah.
Doctor Strange, I'm talking to you.
I'm immediately like, I'm fundraising, like, get this movie made right now if that was to happen.
Totally.
Well, it's funny that you mentioned the MCU, because as I'm watching sort of Yulaw's character like play out, I'm like, he's almost like a Thanos-like character in that he's not really doing what he's doing in order to like do it out of like this place of evil. He's like, I'm on a quest to do this thing. How can you put me on trial for killing myself? Like, it doesn't even make sense.
It's almost out of curiosity that he's doing it, out of anything. More than power, more than ruling the world. It's kind of like, I kind of just want to see what happens.
Yeah, so it's like, it's weird because he doesn't come across as an evil character, despite Jet Li doing his best to like make the character evil in playing him, right? And when you pair him opposite Gabe, who is like family man, wife, good to animals, like just likes to go to work and do his job kind of thing. And when you have the juxtaposition of those two characters, like obviously Yulaw is the villain here, but I think just in a vacuum, he's sort of like a morally ambiguous character in the way, because they always talk about, oh, you have 123 counts of homicide because you killed all these other versions of yourself. But like we see him in the two universes that we see him kill probably 25 or 30 people. Like he bludgeons a couple guys to death with a motorcycle. Like he kills a lot of people that aren't himself.
Actually, they're not actually dead because according to James Wong in the commentary, the MPAA was quite stringent on making sure the cops are not dead. Yeah. So there's just enough
paralyzed.
linger on the edits. They're just like, oh.
Yeah, it's the Batman clause, you know? Like they're not dead. They just maybe have some permanent brain
so
injuries.
that cop would have just come home and say, oh, you all right, honey? Yeah, just got crushed by 2 motorcycles, but I'll be all right. Oh, I just got shot like 20 times, but that's okay. Actually, I did want to ask you, Nick, just bringing it back a little bit to the multiple Yulaws. So, do you think Yulaw is killing all the other Jet Lis in the same iteration of a prison? Is there 127 prison breaks that account to the different Jet Lis? Like, that's what I'm thinking. Like, are they all in jail at some point? Or are they all different?
Sven Law is probably a child molester or something.
I don't know. I'm just thinking like, has he just been jailbreaking or being a cop? Or
he seemed to have gotten his pattern down.
Yeah, he got his pattern down, but then he messed up.
Go into the vents, burst out of the vents. And
it's just another Monday morning, you know? That's I wonder. That's what I was thinking,
It would explain why he's so efficient at killing all the other versions of himself, but I have a hard time picturing Sven Law as either a prison guard or a prisoner unless he's like a drug dealer or something, which is
probably
possible.
one of those really nice Swedish prisons where they have saunas and stuff.
He didn't have to jailbreak him there. He just walked in and killed him.
Yeah.
But it is interesting that, you know, I think for the audience sake, they want to give us like just the mirror world. So like you see the first one, like they're all gearing up, they're walking to the right, and you see like LA Police Department. Then on the next one, it's like they're all walking to the left. The uniforms are different color. It says LA Sheriff's Department. And then we close in on the handcuff scene in the prison cell, and surprise, it's just some white dude. But oh, look, Jet Li is there putting the handcuffs on, like, we got you guys. So like it seemed more like that than like every universe they're in jail.
But it's just enough information as well.
I want to entertain the idea that every universe has, like, maybe he's the cook in one of the prisons, maybe he's the therapist or the priest in one of these other prisons, you know. I do like that idea more, and I wouldn't mind a movie that's just all of that, all 123 deaths.
It's just like one of those like quick, like Edge of Tomorrow type montages where it's just Jet Li constantly dying from different from Yulaw killing.
This is totally doable, guys. But I love a double role. I love one actor playing 2 roles. I feel like, you know, Jackie Chan did it in Twin Dragons. Jean-Claude did it in Double Impact. He did it again in Replicant, but I recently covered Multiplicity on the show where Michael Keaton plays 4 versions of the same character. For some reason, I'm just very drawn to the idea that you're going to have one actor play like multiple versions of the same character because for the most part, the delineation isn't huge, right? Like there's not that big of a difference between Gabe and Yulaw other than their motivation and their awareness of the situation. There's nothing to say that had it not happened to Gabe first that it would have gone the other direction. So they both practice their kung fu. They both have like their ritual. They both dress very similar. They have the same haircut.
So, it's unfortunate that they have the same fashion sense. I feel like a lot of problems could have been solved if Gabe just didn't, you know, go with the black jumpsuit, grey t-shirt combination.
It's a much easier time. Sven Law was the last.
Look, we need the Sven Law movie at this point. Like, I would hope that Jet Li understands that, like, he can have a comedic presence on film and have that be okay. So let's make it happen.
I think
with
you're
Sven
right.
Law.
I think that this movie like really plays to Jet Li's acting strengths in that, like, because you mentioned Jackie Chan, right? And Jackie Chan's obviously an amazing comedic actor. He's an amazing a dramatic actor as well. But I just couldn't imagine him playing a villain. And I think Jet Li kind of had the same thing going on for a while, because he is, in real life, he is quite friendly and affable, right? But then when they got him in to do Lethal Weapon as the villain, he was like, how could I play the villain? Look how friendly I am. Yeah. But he did such a great job at playing like a sinister dude in that movie. Yeah. So I think this movie where he has to play both a villain and like a nice guy, I think it really plays to his strengths as an actor.
That's fair. And I think, you know...
He can be Swedish. He can be Rastafari. He can do it all, man.
I want to see the Rastafarian version of Yula. That's the movie right there, is all the other characters. But, I mean, like, I think if we're just being as, like, transparent as we can, like, this is Hollywood. Jackie Chan and Jet Li are beginning to sort of make their names in America around the same time. And Jackie is very clearly the comedic side of that equation. Jet Li is like, well, what's left for you if Jackie is the guy that's doing all those roles? All right, well, we have all these other roles for you where you get to play the villain. So I think just a little bit more happenstance than anything else. But Jet Li is actually a very good actor when given the opportunity to do so. And I would love to watch a movie where he just gets to like have fun and, you know, do comedy stuff. I want to see that movie where he slices a dude's dick off with a sword uppercut.
Oh, yeah. It's awesome. I got to watch it again. I got to find it.
Yeah. Good film.
Yeah, I think there was another movie. I think it's with Tony Leung. I don't remember. He's like a hitman or something.
The Replacement Killers?
Is it? No, that's Chow Yun-fat.
No, that is Chow Yun-fat.
Yeah, but Jet Li in some of his in Hong Kong films, he does have more of a comedy edge. And I guess in his earlier Wuxia days when he's portraying like Fei Hung, he's a lot more kind of childlike, naive.
Okay.
And then I think it's when he broke into Hollywood and with Lethal Weapon 4, he wasn't always sinister, but he just had more of a serious edge to his character as a character actor.
Yeah.
I think, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point, because I think like he's not the villain in Kiss of the Dragon. Right, nah. He's not the villain in Romeo Must Die either.
I think that's kind of why he fits in with the Expendables cast. I don't know if you could put Jackie Chan in that role, because I mean, Jackie Chan's got a thing about guns as well. I don't think he likes using them in his movies.
Well, he doesn't like killing people in his movies.
Yeah. And that's the difference. Jet Li doesn't care.
Yeah, Jet Li, just kill him.
Like it's a movie, Jackie. It's okay. I do want to ask you though. Do you guys think this is the movie that made Jason Statham give up on having hair?
Ooh.
That's a good question.
That is a good question. Was it a natural loss? Or was it
obviously it is a natural loss. Nobody shaves their head because they want to, because they think it looks cool.
I don't know. It looks pretty damn cool.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably timing more than anything. I don't think he looks terrible in this film. I think, you know, they still kind of feather it enough where it's not super noticeable.
Yeah.
He's holding on to the
Lindo
idea
is
that he has hair.
Yeah,
Delroy Lindo's got a slight wig that I didn't even realize.
He's wigged up. Yeah. It's a really good wig.
It's a really good wig, but it didn't really need to be. They put way too much effort into. Well, I mean, I guess they put enough effort, because I didn't know it was his hair. Yeah, so
you might be right. What I don't know what movie Statham did after this.
Statham has just always been bold to me, though. Even in Lock, Stock and Snatch,
he's always had it cropped short.
Okay,
but yeah.
And then I think
Jason Statham with hair is like Multiverse Statham. It would just look weird.
Fair. It is.
It's that one movie where they give him a long, luscious wig, right? I forget what that movie is.
Oh, it's a Revolver.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna have to go back and watch that one. But yeah, it's like, I think, you know, I had seen him sort of in Lock, Stock and Snatch, and then I don't even remember him in Ghost of Mars. Like I remember Natasha Henstridge and Ice Cube, and I'll get to revisit that one. But then I remember this, but I didn't remember his hair. But then watching the movie, I was like really focused on his head.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, I only picture him as being bald. And I was like, so has he just been bald ever since this movie? Because after this one came out, it was like, all right, I got to give up on the idea that like I have hair. This isn't Bruce Willis territory where they're going to make me a really nice hairpiece for every movie that I do when I'm losing my hair. I just have to, shave it and go on.
Mm-hmm.
He does Transporter right after this, or he does Mean Machine and then Transporter. But yeah, by the time Transporter rolls around, it's like basically shaved down. Like it's like head stubble.
Yeah, and that's his wheelhouse. I think he should stay in that wheelhouse.
That's
the same amount of hair that he has on his chin should also be on his head.
It's just one look all the way around. That's fine.
Yeah. You should be able to flip his head all the way around and it should look the same.
That's the beekeeper look. When he's upside down, you can't tell the difference. So this movie, like we talked about some of like the emotional stuff that maybe like should be there and isn't, in terms of it like sort of rising to task and getting itself out of the bad movie conversation is some of that stuff. But like, how do you guys feel about Yula killing Carla in this? I kind of like forgot.
I totally forgot that
his
happened.
wife right
I
in front
remember.
of him.
I was pretty sad when I was a kid. Like, oh, she's pretty good looking. I don't want her to die.
And she's so nice.
And she's nice.
She can speak Mandarin.
Yeah.
Perfect
She
woman.
put in the effort. Like she's a very good wife in this movie. And so I think that's kind of like, that's something that I wasn't picking up on when this movie came out in 2000, was like her level of commitment to her husband. The fact that like she learned his language, right, so that she could speak with him. Like Jet Li at this time, like he's still probably like learning English a little bit at the time too. And you can tell in this movie that they saddled him with a lot of dialogue that maybe was, like you said, designed for a native English speaker. So by having that extra layer in there, that like not only is she a good wife when she's in like Gabe's reality, she's a good partner to Yula too. She's like, no, I'm here to bust you out of jail with this rat that is inside my shoe.
Rat has got huge nuts. Look at the rat's nuts, Yula. It's crazy.
She had to find a rat with like especially large nuts.
Yeah.
It's like, do you get a rat?
This is a one-of-a-kind rat.
It needs to be like quite like endowed. If you've got one of those, it's like, oh, that's. I'll have a look at my stash. Right? We'll see what I can do. Like, they just got the perfect rat for you. Like, excellent. And it's also house trained too, just so I can go kill it.
And she just blows it up. She just blows it up for Yula, and that's beautiful. That's beautiful, right? That's love.
It is.
Is this supposed to be the anti-animal lover TK in this universe? Then,
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, they thought about this movie a lot.
Man.
Like
it's deep. It's deep.
I mean, we mentioned like the mirror scenes at the start of the film.
Yeah.
But I only noticed this in the most recent rewatch. But his cop mate, Gabe's cop mate, is like the inmate from the start of the film that throws the shiv.
Oh, okay.
And then he's got like a throwaway line later in the film where he says, if it wasn't for Gabe, I wouldn't be in this uniform right now. So it's almost like, because this Gabe is such a nice guy, instead of being a criminal, this guy became a cop instead. There's a lot to this film.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
the best. Give it an Oscar. Yeah.
I think it's fair to say that both the film is smarter than its maybe like lowest moments, but then never really achieves its highest potential either. And that's kind of why it ends up in this category here. But I think now probably a good time to jump into some trivia. How you feel about that?
Yeah, sounds good. Let's do it.
Time for trivia.
All right. So you already pegged one of the questions, so you're going to get that point already anyway. And that was that The Rock was initially slated to play this character, and then he ended up taking on Mummy Returns, which, I mean, I guess worked out for him, although his role in that movie would not have been, the role that he ends up getting in this kind of film. But given that The Rock sort of, he'd done Walking Tall and the rundown. Like, he got to show that like he could have done a movie like this, and I think been pretty solid had he not sort of turned the other direction. But those movies came a little bit after Mummy Returns, so he may not have been ready for something like this at the time. So we'll skip over that one. I'll make another question.
I wonder what the Rock's movie where he decided to shave his head is.
Yeah, that is a good question. We'll have to circle back to that and figure it out. If anybody knows, you can email me at badmovieswelove@theshice.com, and you tell me, when did The Rock give up on having hair? Maybe it was sooner than Statham. He saw Jason Statham ahead of him and is like, I'm not going to let it get to that. We're shaving it now. Okay. So question number 1, Jet Li uses 2 distinct kung fu styles for both Gabe and Yula. Can you name those 2 styles?
I know. I don't remember the names. It's like the good Gabe uses the circular wushu style. And then the Yulor uses the aggressive, the straightforward style.
Yeah.
But I've forgotten the names
So
of
Gabe
them,
uses Bagua,
Yes.
and Yulo uses, my pronunciation is bad, but Jingyi Quan, I think, which is the more straight, the linear offensive style of Kung Fu.
Yeah, so you're right about that. And that one, I think, translates to the mind form fist style. And then Gabe, that one is the 8 trigrams palm. Look, I don't know. I'm just reading stuff off the internet. This could be total bullshit. But it says that those 2 are 2 of the 3 internal styles of Chinese Kung Fu, with the third being Tai Chi. So again, we get into this like symbolism of mirroring these 2 characters, like all the way down to something that is like very, very culturally specific to who these characters are throughout every version of them in the multiverse. Maybe not Sven Law, but definitely these 2 guys. So
I wonder how they would have translated that for The Rock.
Right,
Yeah,
he does the rock bottom on one guy, and then the other guy gets the people's elbow.
Yeah. He's drinking Terramana with one universe, and he's drinking gin in another universe.
Okay, let's go question 2. So Jet Li and Carla Gugino obviously played husband and wife in this film. They starred in 2 other films together the year before this. Do you know what those are?
Jet Li and what was? Because Romeo Must Die was just before this, but I don't remember Carla Gugino being in that.
No, Romeo Must Die was Aaliyah.
Yeah, I know.
I think technically, I'll say they filmed before this movie, but they might have been released after.
Whoa, what was it? From my memory, Romeo Must Die, then it was The One, and Kiss of the Dragon came out the same year.
That's one of
Cradle
them.
to the Grave was around this period of time, but I don't remember Carla Gugino being in that film.
I feel like it's Cradle to the Grave.
Just because I don't remember that film as much as I remember the others. I'm fairly certain she's not in Kiss of the Dragon or Romeo Must Die.
That's Bridget Fonda.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say Cradle to the Grave, because I can't quite...
Was Carla Gugino in Lethal Weapon 4? I don't think so.
Nah.
She was not. The other one that was listed was Spy Kids, but I don't think he was actually in Spy Kids.
Oh. Was he a edited out cameo?
It's quite possible, because it's not listed in his credits. So we'll just say you went 1 for 1 on that, and that's fine, because I'm going to give you another question.
What was the other one, sorry?
Spy Kids and Kiss of the Dragon were the 2 that were listed, but I'm looking at Jet Li's filmography right now. I don't see Spy Kids on here, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I think they lied to me. Again, internet. Don't believe everything you read on
in
the
Kiss
internet.
of the Dragon?
She is, apparently.
I don't think so. Maybe.
Maybe she's wrong about that one, too. Who knows? Yeah, well, look. The internet is full of crap. What do you know?
That's a statement that will hold true forever.
All right. Well, we'll pivot to this other question, which I know is correct because I've seen the movies. So Jason Statham and Jet Li starred in 4 other films together. Do you know what those 4 films are?
Yeah. Is that the one included?
No,
So
four other
There's the
films
one.
besides the one.
Okay. Expendables.
Yes.
Expendables 2.
Expendables 3?
No.
Yep.
Expendables not in there.
He was in War. It was called
Rogue
War,
Assassin.
that's the other
in
one.
Australia, it was called Rogue Assassin, but in the States, it was War. There's definitely another. So that's 3. Wait, what was the other Statham movie? Well, I saw this the other day, and then I was like, yeah, this will probably be a question. And then I'm thinking...
No,
yeah,
you got all 4 of them already. It was War, and then the first 3 Expendables films.
Oh, Jet Li's in the 3rd Expendables film?
Yeah, I don't think he's in it as much, but he's credited as being in it.
Yeah, maybe he turns up at the end to
Maybe
be
he's
like,
like,
good
"Hey-
job, Jason
hey, guys."
Statham.
Yeah, right.
Because I know he pisses off in the second one. He's just like, has his fight scene. He's like, see you later, guys. And then that's it. He never comes back.
Yeah.
It's like our cast is too big to actually deal with any of this. All right, well, you guys did really good. When we go to the wheel, you're gonna have plenty of opportunities. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we'll get through 8 hypotheticals on the wheel. But before that, we'll jump into a little bonus trivia. So when Carla is first introduced in the film, I didn't know this, but it says the TV in the background is playing James Wong and Glen Morgan's earlier film, Final Destination. So a little Easter egg for big James Wong fans. But a little Easter egg for me personally was that this is shot in Los Angeles, so I'm always on the lookout for things that are familiar. And the quote-unquote University Medical Center where Gabe goes for his MRIs is actually what was the North Hollywood Medical Center where Scrubs used to film. That building has since been torn down and turned into like apartments or something, but it was an active hospital that I went to at one point in my life as like a functioning real hospital. And then when it stopped being like a real hospital, it became like a filming hospital. And then it lasted probably for like a decade as just a place where you would shoot movies when you needed hospital stuff. And then they tore it down and made condos probably like 10 to 15 years ago.
There you go.
So, yeah, kind of cool. I'm looking at the bridges he's jumping on. I'm like, that's downtown LA. I know that.
It's been a while since I was last in LA.
Yeah. So, I mean, so many things film in LA. It's always nice to like actually see something that is like super familiar and be like, oh, I grew up around there. I know exactly where that was. So, yeah, I mean, that'll wrap up our trivia section, but that means we get to go to the wheel. I need to make sure I actually pull that up. I added some questions to the wheel.
Ooh.
So it's bulkier than it used to be. So you got more variety than we used to. So make sure we cover our bases here. Let's see. What's the first one off? Okay. This is a simple one. Do you want to trade off here? Do you want to go like 1 for 1 and then you each take a question, or do you both want to tackle these questions?
We'll go 1 for 1.
All right.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Well, who goes first? Who's the one?
Who's the one?
I'll go because I'm nobody's bitch.
Okay.
All right.
I'll start playing the Papa Roach song.
There you go. Everybody has a role to play. So, what is your favorite thing about this movie?
Oh, my favorite thing about this movie is that probably its imperfections. I think because of the limitations of the time, they had a vision and they kind of had to do stuff through trial and error to make that vision work. So we mentioned like the scene at the start where he's punching, well, everyone's moving in slow motion, but Law is moving in fast motion. So they tried that with real stunt people at first. They couldn't make that work. So they ended up using computer graphics for the people, so it's stuff like that. Like with bigger budgets and with modern filmmaking, like if you're making something like Oppenheimer, you can just do a big explosion and film that big explosion, right? But back in the day, you couldn't really do that. You had to use a lot of craft to kind of get around your own limitations. And I think this film is kind of like a showcase of what that kind of filmmaking is, for better or worse,
Yeah.
I think
So that's probably my favorite thing about this film.
Yeah,
is
that's a
how
fair
shit
point.
it is.
Well, I'm glad you watched the behind-the-scenes stuff and brought a little bit more context to sort of the craftsmanship that goes into this, because, often I think we get remakes of movies that we don't necessarily even want. They just announced that they're going to do a Starship Troopers remake, and even though Neil Blomkamp, who I like, who I feel is a good enough sci-fi director to make it work, like, what is the point? Are you going to just strip out all of the satire and everything that Verhoeven did to make it what it was and make it a very straightforward retelling of this? And then it's like, oh, the new grittier Starship Troopers where it's just bug hunting sci-fi. So I feel like movies like The One are actually the stuff that is in like the prime territory for remakes, because there was so much potential. The technology wasn't quite there, but the story idea is good, and you just kind of have to change your scope of focus to really land on something that could be excellent. And for some reason, like stuff like this doesn't ever come up into the conversation. It's like, oh, nah, we need something tried and true to remake that nobody wants to see. And then
Christopher Nolan should remake The One, is what you're saying. I mean, he could actually clone Jet Li and film them side by side.
Well,
he'd get that machine from The Prestige and just do it.
Funny you mentioned that, because the next question that came off the wheel was, if a new version of this movie was made today, what director would you like to see at the helm?
Ooh.
Go ahead, Thavy.
We actually had a lengthy discussion about this.
Good, I'm glad.
We were like, if we made a remake, I mean, Dan and I had this idea that the remake of this film would actually be Jason Statham as the One, but he's fighting all the iterations of him as a mechanic, as a beekeeper, as a transporter, and then
as a Commonwealth Games Olympic diver. Just snipe him from the top of the diving platform.
As a guy kicking Megs in the face, And then I just said it's got to be David Ayer. That's just, he's got the formula for Statham. Yeah.
That's fair. Honestly, like, that's a really good idea. Jason Statham taking on all the other Jason Statham, sort of like what they did for Nick Cage with Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, where it's like you have to be okay being introspective and making a little bit of fun of yourself. However, if you can make a movie called The Beekeeper where all of your dialogue is about protecting the hive and bee puns, like, I feel like Jason Statham is the right candidate who has the right kind of comedic background, where he could make a movie where he's fighting all of the former versions of himself in other movies, like sort of like a career retrospective film where it's like he's at the very end, but he has to fight his way through all of those people that you said.
We have to wait for him to do 124 movies before we can make this happen.
Yeah, that's fair. So it may be a while, but I mean, he pumps them out pretty quick, so he might get there quicker than we think. Let's see, what is his count at right now? He's got 61, so he's got to double down here.
Oh wow, 61 movies.
Yeah, man.
I didn't realize it wasn't that many. I thought it was like 30 or damn. Well, we might actually get there.
We don't want the movie to be 8 hours long, or maybe we do, but most audiences won't. So I think we could do 61 alternate universes, and then we'll just say that he died of natural causes in the other 63.
But yeah, if any of your listeners know how to get in touch with Statham's people, we've got a treatment ready to go.
Yeah, treatment. Yep, for sure.
Well, I mean, somebody who's worked with Jason Statham has probably listened to this podcast at some point. I don't know if they're going to listen to this one, but please, seriously, this sounds stupid and we're kidding, but also it would be fucking awesome. So maybe let's actually do that.
The rights to Papa Roach is probably pretty cheap, right?
Oh yeah. Now for sure.
It's got to have new metal, man.
And it's got to be played with such straight face earnestness as well, like typical to Statham form.
Oh yeah. I think so. I think we can do it. Okay. So Dan, it's back to you. You could choose up to 3 characters from this film to start a podcast together. So which characters are you choosing, and what is their podcast about?
Oh, man.
That's a really funny question.
The characters. Okay. Well, obviously one of them is Sven Law.
Yes.
I want to pick Delroy Lindo's character, just for his voice alone. Like that
fair.
Kind of microphone melting velvet is something that you can't really buy.
Yeah, he's got the goods.
And Yeah, I kind of want to know what Carla Gugino's character, so the evil version of her character, is up to. Yeah. Like, where'd she get that rat from, for starters? But, I mean, yeah, I want to hear more from her. What would the podcast be about, though? I think it would be a podcast just rating hot springs in Sweden, I think. Just kind of like, because we all like a good, spa, right?
Yeah.
I think that's useful information.
Yeah. How to eat surströmming as well. How do you cook surströmming?
Yeah, just a really chill podcast, about relaxation with a focus on relaxation.
Yeah, they've all been through a lot. I think they deserve to relax a little bit. Cool.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, back to you, Tavi. How do you sell this movie to a first-time watcher?
Ooh. I mean, doesn't the premise kind of sell itself? Like, you want to watch Jet Li fight another Jet Li? Like, that's pretty sick, right?
Yeah.
If you're one of the three of us in this conversation, easy sales pitch.
Yeah, I mean, Jet Li's he's quite a household name now, is he not?
That's fair.
I mean, if he made it into the Expendables, any action junkie would be aware of who he is. Anyone who is into, like, martial arts, I'm not sure, like, I'd want to try to put a new metal spin on there, but I don't think there's that many fans of.
Yeah, it would probably depend on who you're talking to, huh? How you sell this film. And that's a good thing. You can come at it at different angles,
Yeah.
Maybe someone's really interested in the trajectory of Statham's hairline. You could be like, you want to see Statham with hair? This is the movie.
This is the last time you got to see it, so don't take it for granted.
A rat with huge nuts?
Yeah.
You want to see how that plays a part in this movie? This is the one. This is the one, exactly.
Yeah, we need the rat's balls to be so big that nobody notices the explosive tied around his balls.
Yeah. That rat was the one of his species.
Do you think the cop was just before he died, or I guess because he didn't die, but just before he got blown up, was like, wow, that's some fucking big ass ball on a rat. Yeah. Like, never mind the explosive device that's clearly attached to it. It's like, man, that's a fucking.
Yeah. He probably would have gotten to it sooner if he wasn't so amazed.
He was kind of perplexed. Yeah. It's like, yeah, I see an explosive device, but how is what's the mechanics of that? How's that working?
That was the plan. Distract everybody with that rodent ball sack, and you'll have
what she was doing.
She did.
Evil TK.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Next one up is if you could swap out an actor, which actor are you choosing and why?
Okay, so I'm swapping out an actor from this film for another actor.
Correct.
And we already answered this, so you can maybe do a different one, in a sense.
I mean, they're all so good. That's the problem. Like, I think all of the acting talent in this film is quite good for
maybe
what they're doing.
In the context of a remake with actors today.
We might get that question.
Oh, yeah. Whoops, thinking too far ahead.
Well, the question is if you could swap out an actor. So if you don't want to swap anybody out, that's fine. Like you said, they're all good. I don't think the acting is what lets this movie down.
Yeah, I'm just thinking about it. I mean, you could probably swap out. I think the shame of this film is that they don't give Statham enough to do.
Yeah.
I think, like, based on his skill set, I know there were a couple of deleted scenes where he was supposed to have more fight scenes with Jet Li's character, but they kind of cut it out, which he was a bit annoyed with. But if anyone was going to be swapped out from the cast, it would probably be him. You could swap him out for, I don't know, a young Clint Eastwood would be all right, I reckon, because he's so obsessed with guns.
Which, he does point out at one point that his gun is equipped with the latest countermeasures. And I said, what kind of countermeasures does a handgun possibly have?
Not countermeasures against being melted by some kind of weird green bomb.
That gun is not melt proof, apparently. Okay, so next question from the wheel. This is a fun one. If you could insert a surprise musical number into this movie, what scene are you putting that musical number in?
Ooh. All right.
This is the perfect question
This is
to
the
go to
perfect-
you,
yeah,
Tavy.
I don't
Tavy
know.
loves musicals.
Excellent.
A surprise musical number. I'm not. Where can I put one? I mean, I'm just gonna go with a gut instinct. They gotta put one of the Last Wicked song in there, the Cynthia Erivo song,
Defying Gravity.
Defying Gravity. And that's when Law is. Oh, okay. It's when he breaks out of after the explosion, and he's about to go to the multiverse that Gabriel Law is in. That's when he starts singing "Defying Gravity"
As
because
that
he's
beam
breaking
is
free.
coming
That's
down.
the beam, and he just goes, "Wow!" Yeah, that's it. That's where you got to chuck the musical number in there.
He's like
Yeah.
doing that vibrating face thing as he's hitting that note.
Yeah, that's it. That's printing money right there.
Yeah.
And you get the Wicked crowd coming to watch that as well.
Yeah, you finally get your 4-quadrant movie.
Yeah, the one that everyone can watch, and I'm very certain that the rights will be sold to this very clever, not silly idea. You know, it's yeah.
Oh, wow. Whew, okay. I like that. So we got 2 more questions, one for each of you. I think we know what the answer to this question is going to be, but there's a second part of the question that I really want to hear your take on. Which minor character deserves a spin-off, and what would that movie be about?
All right, Dad, go for it.
All right, what would the movie starring Sven Law be
Yes.
about? I'm imagining a road trip movie.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah,
That's great. Backpacking across Europe or something.
Yeah. It's about self-discovery, I guess. But maybe it's like a multiversal road trip movie where the journey of self-discovery is him literally going to meet different versions of himself through the multiverse.
Do you think it's kind of like
This is before like any U-Law hunting.
yeah, what's that movie with Steve Coogan and Rob Brydon? The Trip.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it's
yeah.
just like it's basically that movie, but with Sven Law. But then he's accompanied by a really annoying Jet Li. But then they kind of like keep doing impressions of all the other Jet Lis.
Yeah.
When they're just having conversations about like Swedish meals.
Yeah, and they're just shit talking that dick that they met a while ago, U-Law.
Oh yeah, and he's like calling Carla Cucino. It's like, I just want to come home. I've had it up to here with Rastafari and Jet Li.
Wow. That's funny because it's so close to being a very similar movie, but it's so ridiculously different that I still want to watch it. Because, yeah, this is sort of about like Eula accumulating all the power and the energy of all these others. But then we just like turn that upside down. It's Svenla. He's friendly. He wants to just like meet the other ones and learn from them and sort of like enrich himself more in a like metaphysical way than in a
That's
an
right. He's
actual
becoming
way.
the one in a metaphorical sense
Yeah,
rather than a literal
exactly.
sense.
Yeah. The one again, kind of. Okay.
One again.
And then at the end, they can say, "We are the one."
Yeah. There you go. Okay, so last one from the wheel. You get to fan cast the modern version of the film. So let me get who's going to play the Jet Li role, who's going to play the Statham role, and who's going to play the Delroy Lindo role.
Ooh. I mean, we already sort of touched on this. Like, yeah, I was going to say Jet Li's character is Statham and doing the whole beekeeper thing. But who would be the new Statham?
Who is the new Statham? That's a good question.
Oh, yeah. It needs to be someone that's like kind of... Who is up and coming?
Bill Skarsgård.
Bill Skarsgård?
He could do it.
He's trying to transition to acting. Now's the time to get him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And more action roles
Action,
as well.
action.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Bill Skarsgård is a good...
All right.
I'll
I'll take
choice.
that.
Yeah. Delroy Lindo. Who's got a like kind of gravelly kind of wisdom to them right now?
We could throw like Morgan Freeman in there, maybe.
Morgan Freeman.
He's a little older, but he's like, you know, he's like in Seven, but 30 years older.
I mean,
Or maybe you go the complete different direction and you get Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh yeah.
And he's just yelling at everyone all the time.
I mean, I feel like it'd be in like Denzel Washington, right?
Yeah,
he's
actually,
got that kind of tough guy. Yeah,
that's
like
probably
that Alonzo.
like the right answer. You know, because he can both. He can be tough. He can be whimsical. Like, so Denzel could definitely do the role and probably play the character that we saw from Delroy Lindo. It's a way different movie if you bring in like Sam Jackson, though. Not necessarily a worse movie, but a different one.
Die. Yeah. Your choice, motherfucker.
Cool. Well, yeah, that was a fun excursion onto the wheel there. But now we're gonna go to more or less. So I want you both to tell me the thing that you want more of in this movie and the thing that you want less of in the movie.
Maybe less bad CGI. And more new metal.
More new metal.
nice and simple. More new metal. Yeah. Put Coin in there. Put Deftones in there.
Yeah.
Put all the.
Just take the budget from the CGI and transfer it to the music rights.
Yeah. Put Marilyn Manson in there. Yeah. That's it. I think that's. Yeah.
Honestly, I would have preferred this movie if it had less CGI in it. I don't know if it would have worked, but.
Yeah, it'd be a different movie because that's what they were going for.
Yeah.
But I feel like it'd be a different movie. It'd be a more visceral. It'd be a less PG-13 movie
for sure.
More blood, actually.
It'd be a bit more blood. Yeah, more bloody, more visceral violence, I suppose. Yeah.
All right, more violence and less. What?
Or is that what you wanted for more? Then I was just whipping.
He's taking your answer.
Less caving to studio mandates.
That's a good one. I like that.
Less compromise.
Less compromise,
please.
Just give them a budget. Just let be Jet Li.
Yeah, I mean, Final Destination movies are pretty violent, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. There's a lot of deaths
James
in
Wong
those
wanted
movies.
to make a PG-13 movie, though. So
okay.
It was just the time was quite strict, I think.
Right.
That era, yeah.
All right, well, that's fair. But I'll definitely take more violence in that movie and like a little bit like just not crank it up to 10, but maybe take the seriousness up from like a 6 to like an 8 and like really focus on like the heart of what's at this story rather than like get dazzled by the CGI and the leather. Okay, well, that's cool. We're approaching the end, but before we get to the end, we always stop by Critics Corner because we have to hear what people who hated this movie had to say about it, because we're giving it too much praise, I think, and we got to be brought back down to reality. So we always go over to the board, and the board has it as a 25 overall with a low of 10 and a high of 67. So we're going to cash out on the high one, but we will start at the bottom. And this is Stephen Hunter from the Washington Post says, the story is so ridiculous and the acting so completely amateurish, the fights have no dramatic impact. You don't care whether good jet or bad jet wins. Not that you can tell them apart anyway. So Stephen was not having a good time because this movie very specifically makes sure that Bad Jet Li takes his jacket off so that you can tell them apart. And then at the end, when they need to not be told apart, good Jet Li's jacket catches on fire.
Yeah.
He clearly doesn't know about the different fighting stances that were shown during the wushu training anger release moments.
Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I agree with like 3 out of 4 of those statements, but I have a much more positive opinion on this film.
Yeah.
I mean, you kind of care which Jet Li wins, but like it's not. I'd be okay with either of them winning, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so.
Once Carla Gugino dies, I think I'd be okay with either one of them winning.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we got to have the happy ending where he still rescues the dog and gets back with a different universe, like a very clean Los Angeles universe of Carla Gugino. So
the electric car universe, as they called it, where there's no environmental turmoil. Everyone's nice. It's just a beautiful universe. It's probably, I reckon that was the Sven Law universe.
Yeah, probably.
Sven Law's place.
Sven Law's place.
That's why he's got such a big smile on his face when we see his picture.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, let's climb the board. We've got the New York Times and TV Guide magazine both clocked in with a 30 out of 100. So I will let you two choose your poison on this one.
What was that again? Sorry?
We have two different magazines. We got New York Times and the TV Guide magazine. They both have the same score. So I want you guys to pick which one you want to hear.
I feel like the New York Times would be more pretentious about it.
Yeah, I'm curious to hear about
Let's hear what they have to say.
You're not wrong. This is Stephen Holden. He says it's so narratively garbled and its screenplay so underwritten that you have to strain to piece together the story. Where, I mean, I feel like he's
Heaven forbid you have to put the pieces together yourself.
And look,
he's kind of not wrong about the narrative, though.
Okay, that's fair. The narrative is a little garbled, but the story is very simple, and the movie does us a favor by giving us this big expo dump voiceover in the beginning, right? Yeah. They just tell us this is what's happening. Enjoy. So I don't feel like the story is hard to grasp. I feel like if you're focused maybe on the wrong part of the story, it might be difficult. But yeah, like we've talked about the narrative focus of the film maybe being in the wrong place, but the story is pretty straightforward. Like good Jet Li, bad Jet Li, they fight, movie over.
They did us a mercy by only having 124 parallel, which is, by the way, that's either too many universes or too few universes. You know? There should be one or infinite. 124 makes no sense, but I feel like that's them doing us a favor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, we could have done infinite, but we ran out of different versions of Jet Li. We got tired.
Yeah, we ran out of wigs.
Yeah, we ran out of wigs, and we stopped, and that was the number that we landed on.
Like the pie chart of their budget is like 80% new metal licenses, 20% wigs. Delroy Lindo's wig alone is 19% of that.
Yeah, because he had to have a good one.
Stranded wig. It's like, whoa.
Okay, so let's see what else we got. We got Entertainment Weekly. This is Owen Gleiberman, who I've read on this show many times. He said it's hardly much of a thrill to see the one recycle on a lower budget the slo-mo bullet dodges from The Matrix, along with unspectacular variations on several other of that film's time-bending demolition ballet effects.
100% agree. You're not wrong.
It's interesting because James Wong mentioned that he was trying to separate himself from the Matrix as much as he could because he knew it was going to be compared, but they just probably did not do a good enough job.
Well, I mean, where is the innovation in this film? I guess it would have been the face replacement at the time.
Yeah.
And they did a lot. In fairness, they did a lot of work to make that face replacement as seamless as they could.
Yeah, because apparently the stunt double didn't look anything like Jet Li. So they're like,
he did from the back, and that's a good start. Yeah. But yes, like having that green mask on the stunt double so they could do the face replacement, and just being smart with their edit choices, I guess, is how they kind of got around it. This was pre-Matrix Reloaded, right? So
it would have been 2001.
So in many ways, this movie paved the way for the Burley Brawl of the Matrix Reloaded. Yeah. Which is a much better scene than anything in this film.
Yeah, take that, Owen Gleiberman. He's not necessarily wrong, but this movie does have one thing that The Matrix does not, and that is double Jet Li. So
that's true.
We should give it some credit. Like, this movie has a much better martial artist than anybody that exists in the Matrix film. So, in fairness, the Kung Fu edge goes to the one. Okay, yes. We've got New York Post and San Francisco Chronicle both with 50 out of 100. So who do you want to hear from?
Should we hear from San Fran this time around?
All right.
Yeah.
This is Bob Graham. He said, it's called One, which he's incorrect about. And the hemorrhaging begins with the so-called story, which doesn't quite add up to one. Yeah, sorry, Bob.
That's
lazy.
I think he worked backwards from from the end of that.
I have no idea what he's saying. is he saying that his brain hurt from watching this movie? That's it? And then tried to, yeah. I mean...
It seems like it, maybe.
I mean, I know that a lot of critical writing is partly entertainment as well.
Yes.
But he's watching a Jet Li movie, you know?
Yeah, you don't need to overthink it. I think he's put way too much thought into his review. Probably more than James Wong put into the screenplay of this film, to be honest.
I'm gonna review the review. I think this review is pretentious nonsense.
Yeah, well, he got the title of the film wrong, and then, as you said, I think he was working backwards from. He's like, I got this one-liner I really want to drop, but I don't know how to get there. And then, oh wait, the title of the movie is this. Like, and put it together. But yeah, I mean, I think a big problem with a certain demographic of film critics is that they are more focused on viewing their criticism as the work of art rather than just giving us like a straight-laced opinion on the thing that they watched. It's like, oh, people read me for my snarky one-liners and like, you know, they're not reading me to read about the movie, which is like, well, your job as the critic, as it should be, is to sort of be the vehicle between the audience and the potential movie to tell them like whether it's worth their time and to like weigh the good and the bad of it, not to come in here and be like, ooh, look at me. My writing is so pretentious. Don't you love it?
It's very disgruntled. I didn't make it as a filmmaker type of job. So I'm just going to try to be artsy with my reviews. Yeah.
There is a lot of that, unfortunately. And like the more I read, the more I see, like every time somebody wants to throw in like a pun that's derived from like the movie or the plot when calling it bad, it's like, oh my God, you're so clever. You know, like really people are not like going to a film critic to read how clever they are, I don't think. But that aside, we have arrived at the top of the ladder, which is nice because we get a 67 from the Seattle Post-Intelligencer, and that is Sean Axemaker. So fucking great last name. Never read this guy before.
Excellent name.
It's more thrill ride than movie, and Wong plays it that way. No sentiment, no complications, no pesky story to get in the way of an arsenal of flashy special effects.
Yeah, that's pretty much summed it up.
Yeah, I mean, there are emotional beats in this film when, you know, Carla Gugino's character gets killed and Delroy Lindo's character gets killed. But they get brushed over pretty quickly.
Yeah, because there's a happy ending. Statham gets to say goodbye to alternate Delroy Lindo.
That's true.
Gas salesman Delroy Lindo.
Yep.
And you know, Gabe gets to go to Sven Bart's universe and be a really happy Swedish U-Laws.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think, I mean, when we were young, most people are not watching this movie to be super emotionally invested. Because sometimes, and that's the big thing about enjoying bad movies we love, is just the thrill of it. They're just fun to watch.
Yeah, sometimes a movie can just be a movie. It doesn't have to be a massive statement.
It doesn't have to, you know, have all these massive themes. Because those movies, sometimes I can acknowledge they're really good. And because, like, I can be a bit of a film snob sometimes. But, yeah, sometimes it's exhausting to sit through super heavy emotions. Yeah, I just want to watch Jet Li, like, fight himself.
While Papa Roach is playing. Yeah. And kicking off I mean, we haven't mentioned the ziggurat scene at the end. But that's where he's just climbing up top the ziggurat, just kicking a bunch of To be fair, I think U-Law's having a great time in that scene. I think everybody gets a happy ending in this film. He's having the time of his life, mate.
Well, I am glad that you brought that up because, you know, you had mentioned a prequel story to this movie maybe being palatable, but for me, excuse me, watching this movie again, all it did was bring me back to I want the sequel where Yula is just in the prison universe beating the shit out of people for 90 minutes. Like, make it like The Raid or whatever, and just straight action all the time, and he's trying to like fight his way out of that portion of the multiverse, because like then it's just nonstop action. We need zero story for that. It's all just straightforward linear. There's there's a nexus point or whatever the hell they call it in this movie, where there's going to be somebody new getting dropped off, and he's got to like get to that point, and he's just fighting his way from point A to point B. Give me that. I will watch that over and over again.
Yeah, you get there's a really popular Indonesian director that Dan and I really like, because you mentioned The Raid. You get Timo Jatono to direct that. He's really popular for really good action martial arts with extreme horror violence put in together. So it would be pretty fun to see what 126 ULAW powers would really affect on human flesh. That would be fun to watch.
Well, there's still 2 of them left, so it's technically 60.
That's right.
62. But
I mean,
still, that's a lot of human strength.
That's a lot of strength. Like, I want to see... I mean, this might not be for everyone who was a fan of the one, but yeah, I want to see gently like ripping people apart and like kicking heads off and kicking people in half. I want to see an ode to upward slicing someone's dick. Yeah, that's it.
I like how the cops are like, before they send Gabe to wherever they send him at the end, they're like, he's going to be watched over like the other one. And then we cut to ULAW just having to fight a million guys. Like, what do you mean watched over?
He'll be busy for a while. We don't have to check in on him at least
he'll
for
tire
a year.
Himself out.
Yeah.
He's gonna sleep well tonight.
It's like I would really like to see that sort of, because it's like so much of this movie sort of teases us with like how powerful he really is, how powerful he would be. We see him like one hand picking up a motorcycle and just like wielding it like a melee weapon. You know, he picks up both. He's able to run at 50 miles an hour. Like, there's so many different times where his strength maybe isn't consistent. And then I would love to just see like a pissed off version of ULAW who has like been defeated, but he's still on top of that pyramid. And he said, I'm still going to be the one. I don't give a fuck. All you guys are standing in my way. I'm going to kill all of you to get what I want. So it's like he's not done with his mission.
And they mentioned that his intelligence increases as well, but we don't really get to see that. I would love to see like some fight IQ put into play.
Yeah, you do. I guess with the speed, they had to just lower the shutter speed. So they need that Sherlock Holmes style way of filming where there's all the math is.
Oh, right. He goes into his mind palace before he fights
and he starts discombobulating people constantly. He's like, discombobulate, but he like rips the guy's like head off or something.
Yeah.
Look, Jet Li might not be around to like physically be able to do this anymore. He's probably mid 60s, almost 70 at this point. Maybe late 50s. He's definitely not a young man anymore.
I think he's 70.
Yeah, so the physical burden of this role I don't think would work. However, the idea of this movie and this character doing this is still awesome, and they should do it. Absolutely. Give me the prequel too.
I'm 100% there.
Yeah. Seriously, like hardcore action fans that, you know, like we see stuff that like Scott Adkins is doing, right? Like he's sort of filling that role of being like the super violent action star in a lot of those types of roles. So like just that audience will be there for that movie. I promise you. So you don't even need that much. Like you could build a pyramid on set and shoot it on green screen. And like, you know, you don't even have to leave the studio. Just all you need is some good martial artists and a good director and a choreographer to work it all out.
Yeah, I want to watch this movie right now.
Me too. That's how I feel at the time. Every time I finish watching the one, I'm like, God damn it, why did they not make the sequel where he beats the shit out of everybody in the prison world?
The 1, 2.
Yeah.
Colon, nobody's bitch.
Nobody's bitch. But that's your printing money right there.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Cool. All right. Well, so we've gone through basically everything other than the gateway drug movie. So this is where we get to suggest a movie to the audience that is maybe kind of like the one, but something that they've seen and maybe liked a little bit better, something to help them maybe push play on this movie.
Ooh, I'd probably, in terms of American Jet Li action films in this style, Romeo Must Die is probably the closest in terms of a gateway drug. It has very similar special effects. There's quite a few wire work stunts in that film. It's a bit more violent than the one, but it's not too, I don't think it's too high impact.
It's also got Delroy Lindo in it.
It's got Delroy Lindo in it as well. It doesn't have the beekeeper, unfortunately, but it also maybe somewhat qualifies for bad movies we love, because I think it wasn't very positively received, but as Dan and I being two, young Asian dudes back then looking for positive Asian role models, Romeo Must Die, I was like, yeah, I want to be fucking Jet Li. I want to fly around on wires and kick people halfway through and do spin kicks like mid-torso turns. That's
I want to do
defying gravity.
I want to do an awkward dance in a hip hop club with my hat backwards.
Oh yeah. I mean that's my answer. But like, what were your B's then?
Obviously The Matrix, but I don't want to get people's expectations up too much.
That's fair.
So maybe The Matrix Revolution. But again, it's not as epic as that, is it?
Yeah.
I'd be like, have you seen Rick and Morty? I mean, that's got multiverse stuff in it. But yeah, I mean, in terms of martial arts, I think that's probably where this film rises above its contemporaries, maybe, because it does have Jet Li in it. So
I mean, if you're going multiverse, it'd be like EAO, Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Yeah.
But that's
a fair shout.
That's more like
Oscar winner.
Emotional.
It's more heartfelt.
Yeah, it's more heartfelt.
You won't find the same emotion in the one.
You're not looking for something too heartfelt in this movie, to be honest.
But it is a similar concept. I feel like if people were able to understand that movie, then they'd have no problem understanding the one.
Imagine that movie, but
way dumber.
Way less so.
Are you sick of crying and feeling emotions from this movie? Well, we've got you covered.
Do you want some more early 2000s new metal?
Are you tired of award-winning acting?
Yeah. Who cares about the Oscars? You want to see some slow motion?
You want to see a Swedish Jet Li?
Fuck yeah, I do. That's the most important thing in the movie now that I've watched it again. We all need more Sven Law in our lives.
Sven Law. I'm holding up. There'll be the companion movie, as you're talking about, Law beating up people on the ziggurat, and then released at the same time is Sven Law goes on a road trip and meets his other. So it's just these two contrasting movies. You make it a double feature.
There'd be a scene where he's like driving his car and he's playing the radio, he's trying to find something good to play, but every station is new metal.
Yeah, but then he puts on like ABBA or something. Like, oh yeah, that's much nicer.
And like, look, I'm not a fan of sort of like AI filmmaking. However, if you do not give us the Sven Law movie, I will figure out a way to find some sort of AI program to put the prompts into to give us the Jet Li Sven Law movie that we need, and we'll just use it as proof of concept.
You don't even need AI. Dan and we're already working on a script breakdown right now as we're doing this. As soon as you talked about Sven Law, I've already got my pen, I've already got final draft open up. Okay, what's the arc? How are we going to put this into 3 acts? Yeah. Maybe this can be a 2-act movie where it's open-ended at the end.
James Wong, you got any money left over from Dragon Ball Evolution? We forgive you for that movie, by the way. You want to finance this film? Get in touch.
I was just trying to think, too, of like sci-fi movies that incorporate martial arts, and like off the top of my head, I'm not thinking of that many. So when I was looking for a movie that would sort of be a good jumping off point for somebody to watch the one that first came to mind, which I think is probably still the best in terms of like style and portrayal, would be Equilibrium.
That movie.
But the one that maybe makes sense in terms of thematically would be the Tom Cruise one, Edge of Tomorrow, where it's like, it's kind of like some little bit of like multiverse type action where it's not really, but it's a little more sci-fi specific, where Equilibrium is like, yeah, we're just in the future, and it is a sci-fi story, but it's not about time travel or multiverse or anything.
In terms of aesthetic, probably
definitely
Paul W.S. Anderson's Resident Evil series is
no, that's
fairly similar.
A good pick,
It's actually like a sci-fi horror martial arts. Yeah, maybe. That's a good point, though. There aren't a lot of sci-fi martial arts movies, is there?
Not yet.
I can't actually think of any. Not yet.
Not yet.
We got to get started then.
They're coming. They're coming. 2-3 years from now, a 70-year-old Jet Li is going to be backpacking through the mountains as Sven Law. So get ready, people. Cool. All right. Well, that's all I have for you guys. But what do you have for us? Tell my audience where they can find you. What is your social media stuff? And I'll make sure that I have like all the links for all your stuff up in the show notes.
Well, there you go, producer Dan. That's all you.
All right, I'm doing the plugs. Okay. Yes, we are Two Asian Blokes podcast. We talk about Asian pop culture, films, TV shows, comic books, anime, music, food, video games, whatever we're feeling at the time, really. You can get in touch with us at twoasianblokes@gmail.com. We're on all the things that podcasts are on. We do have a YouTube channel that we do some video stuff on as well. If you like Jackie Chan movies, that might be a good gateway to us. But yeah, we also have TikTok and Instagram if you prefer shorter content. We are at Two Asian Blokes.
Our TikTok's still running?
Our TikTok's still running.
Oh, okay.
Clearly high on the to-do list. Right. It's better than
we got the young people coming in. Don't even worry about it, Tommy.
I'll let you handle that, Dan.
You're ahead of me. I have a TikTok account, but I post no content, so I'm just there to observe. So at least you got something. But guys, this has been a blast. Anytime you want to come back on the show, you want to pick something that is not like theme specific and just pick any random bad movie you guys love and you want to come back and talk about it, I'm game.
Oh, we've got plenty. And we got a lot of weird. Whenever we have guests come on our show, I think we mentioned to you, we tend to throw people into the deep end, so we'll make sure you're prepared.
And then after that, if you still want to work with us, we're always up for a good time. We've had a blast coming on.
Yeah,
thank you for having us.
Yeah, it was great. I can't wait for Sven Law the movie now.
Shit, I know,
I'm super
right?
excited.
Me too. I'm just gonna fantasize about the Sven Law movie all night long. I'm not gonna be able to do anything else. But yes, this has been an absolute pleasure. I love this film. I'm so glad that everything kind of lined up, we just connected organically. I was getting ready to prep my sort of Kung Fu month and it just all fell into place, just like it was supposed to. So this is a lot of fun. I look forward to doing it again.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, thanks for having us, man.
Anytime.
A huge thanks to Dan and Thavy for coming on the show. It was a little difficult coordinating because we're separated by 18 hours worth of time zone, but well worth it. I had a ton of fun. I can't wait to go on their show and see what they have in store for me. If you haven't done so, make sure to check out the Two Asian Blokes podcast. I will make sure that I have that readily available for you in the show notes, so it's just a click away. We got 2 more movies on deck for Kung Foolery month. This was initially going to be the last movie of the month, but scheduling things had to work some stuff out. But I think we're going to do Only the Strong next. And of course, thank you to everyone who took the time to listen to the episode. I know there's a seemingly infinite number of options when it comes to podcasts, and I appreciate you letting me into your ear holes and hopefully into your hearts. In all seriousness, though, time is valuable, and I am very grateful that you've entrusted me with yours. If you enjoy the show, please consider leaving a review or at least a rating and telling a friend about it. If you don't enjoy it, then maybe let's keep that between us. As I mentioned in the open, the new members only section is in fact live at badmovieswelove.captivate.fm/support, where you're going to get access to a bunch of goodies for only $5 a month. And I would absolutely love to hear from you, so if you have a bad movie you love and would like to be a guest on the show, you can contact me at badmovieswelove@theshice.com or badmovieswelove spelled LUV on Twitter and Instagram. And until next time, take care, be well, stay safe, and have fun however you get your movies. I know you're out there somewhere, Rids. I love you.